Hi everyone, welcome back to another movie of the week, and the movie this week was One Day. So if you haven't watched it, watch it now. If this is your first movie of the week, what I do is I talk about a movie here, you guys comment below your thoughts, and at the end of every video I say the movie for next week so you can follow along. So One Day. This is my second time watching the movie. I guess it is based off a book. And I didn't know this until literally a couple weeks ago. I was like in my mom's room and I see a book that's called One Day. And I know that I have One Day coming up as a movie of the week. Anyway, I just gotta say this one thing is that Anne Hathaway is doing a British accent in this movie and it goes in and out. It is not good. So it's like this movie, like you can't really, do you call it like a rom-com? No, it's like different than like a rom-com, but it is like falls into like the romantic movies, but it's different than your typical like rom-com. But it's still important that we talk about like romance and different type of romance movies, and actually in a couple of years the entire year will be different types of romance movies. I know I'm jumping ahead here, but that doesn't mean that this year we're not going to talk about movies that have to deal with romance, because I don't think this is the first we've done thus far anyway. But there's so many different, like, I guess we can call it rom-com or whatever, but different like romance tropes. And so this one, when I'm trying to think it, do you call it like right person, wrong time? Or do you call it like, you know, the people, but they keep just like passing each other? Because in a lot of ways, this movie kind of is the same thing with like Love, Rosie, which I'm sure we're eventually going to talk about. But Love, Rosie, it's kind of the same thing where these two friends and they keep, you know, in life, like, you know, as they almost seem like they're going to happen, and you know, life pulls them in different ways, whatever else. Obviously, this is different than Love, Rosie because it shows, you know, these two people one day every year and kind of like where they are at. And I think it doesn't try too hard too, because there's like, I think at the beginning or once in a while, there's like days where it's like, but there's like days where like, you know, she's just like, at the beginning, she's just like working at that restaurant, like, and they don't actually do something. So it kind of like, it just, I think it's like interesting where it's like, it's not picking like specific days or a big events happening, but it's picking, it just is like really this one day and like how their relationship is every year, and like kind of like it doesn't explain itself. So sometimes you have to like kind of pick up on things and like kind of like that, where it's like you're not being like, this is exactly what happened, this is what you missed, and you have to like really try to like, it engages you more. And it makes you be more present, be like, wow, this thing has changed. Wow, like, look at that, and that's crazy. I mean, I wrote a book, if it ever gets made, called 20 Years, and it's about these two people over 20 years. And it doesn't pick a specific day, but it's like a person kind of writing in first person, kind of second person in a little way, because she's like writing it to the person, but it's not like letters, so it's confusing. Hopefully one day it can get made and you guys can read it, whatever. In that, it's not a specific day. It's like kind of a special day where like an event happened, and it kind of is like shows like the relationship over time. But I think it's interesting that they chose like literally one day to really show it. And I think, as I said, like sometimes not much happens, and I think it's good that they stuck with it, because sometimes things just don't happen. So in a way, it is that like they are the right person for wrong time, but like they're missing each other in life trope. And there aren't actually, like, I feel like a lot of movies like that. Like, I don't know if I would even consider my book about that, because my book is kind of about something like, I don't even know if it's a romance book. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into my book that much, but I also Love, Rosie based off a book. I don't even know. But really, Love, Rosie and One Day are like the only ones that just like come to mind, where it's like people like passing, you know, like that right person, wrong time, and then it's just never working out. I'm trying to think. Obviously, this is a really sad movie because spoiler, and you should have watched the movie by now before watching this video, but she dies. There's like 20 minutes left in the movie or something. And so it's kind of, I think that's kind of the point of the film, is like, you don't know when you're gonna lose someone, so like don't waste your time, because that's the thing, is like, you know, they, especially in this movie, like they just like could never like really say how they felt about each other, and you know, just let it be. And then it was like, you know, when things were kind of good, it's just like it was too late. And so I think that's the message that this film is trying to teach or prove. It's like you gotta, you know, you can't wait till it's too late because you don't know how long you have someone. You gotta tell your feelings, you gotta express them. And then it was kind of great that like the last scene in the film was kind of like how they first started out. So that was kind of special to bring it back. I do gotta say they kind of did a good job aging them, because obviously I don't know how many years in total, but at least it was like 10 years, you know. And so they kind of did, you know, little nuances. But I feel like, I forget the male actors, him especially, like they kind of like, they did a really good job at like, you know, aging him and like showing him. And I feel like a lot of films and TV shows really struggle with that. So I feel like that is something I want to talk about. I don't really have anything else to say, but I think it's like important to like watch movies like this, obviously, for what I was talking about, you know, the choices that, you know, even though it's based off a book, but like the choices they made, and how it's like you can make movies like this and kind of like, you know, starting a discussion about romance in movies and that kind of element. So thank you guys for watching One Day, and the movie for next week is Juno from 2007. So comment your thoughts about One Day and watch Juno for next week. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.